Hey there, Randy Kohn here with Trapeze Talks, co-hosting today with the legendary Tony Steele. Tony, how you doing?
Great, how you doing?
Great.
Randy.
Yeah, it's great to see you, Tony.
Good to see you too.
You know, over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking a lot about recreational circus and how people get their starts and move into the professional world.
Yeah.
We've talked about you today and how you got started in the circus. But I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about your friend Al Light. I hear he's done some big things over the last 10 years.
Yeah, well, Al Light is, all these people you have to know to really appreciate him. But the way he got started is he was a baseball player, and he was on the other side of the fence from where the circus was set up. And he just came over to the fence and was looking around, a lot of young girls on the other side. And he said something like, "What's going on in there? Circus, blah, 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 blah." And so they invited him in, and he came in and became addicted right away. And the first thing that happened to him is he ended up becoming the managing director of the Gamma Phi? No, not Gamma Phi.
Yeah, Gamma Phi at Illinois State.
No, this was in Florida. Oh, Flying High Circus, yeah. And he trained people. He was a very good trainer, and then he went and trained all the people at the Gamma Phi Circus, which gives points, I think, for acrobatics, for the students who take acrobatics. And every year they perform in the big building inside the campus university. And they have a set of uprights, not uprights, you call them, what do they call those? Trusses.
Oh, yeah. Trusses, yeah.
But this truss was not high enough for a flying trapeze act. So he, with his charm and personality, which he has a lot of, I'll give you an example of what kind of charm he has. He looks younger than he is. He doesn't look, you know, and he was like 20 years old, and a salesman came to the door one time, and he was all dressed up to go to a party with a bow tie, you know, and the guy went like, "Hi, is your mommy home?" So anyway, he became the manager of the Gamma Phi Circus, and he tried to make the program more and more interesting. And they had a tumbling mat, a blow-up tumbling pad, and it was mostly all acrobatics. Well, no animals or anything like that. And he somehow talked them into making the whole struts higher so that they could put a flying trapeze act in there, because flying trapeze is sensational. And they agreed to that, but then there was a problem, where do we practice? Well, the field house had like 5 basketball courts, and they were willing to give up one of the courts to put a flying trapeze rigging in there, but they didn't want any wires on the ground. So he put all the wires all the way across the arena so that everything was out of the way. And all the students were acrobats, so now we just had to choose them. You know, there was, you know, teeter-board artists there that could do doubles and all that stuff. So, well, one of them was
Chris?
Yeah, Chris. Yeah, and you know, I saw him tumble and all that stuff. And he came here one time.
He's fantastic.
Huh? He's
fantastic.
I know, and I said, you know, you could be a great flyer, maybe one of the world's greatest, because you got all the acrobatical, mechanical movements, and now, like you say, he's a fantastic flyer. So how did I get on him? Anyway, he was in our act, and so I was a guest, because you can't be with the circus unless you're a student. Because I'm so old and decrepit, they said, we'll make an exception for him. And so you have to see the video sometime, it's a riot, you know. The first thing I do is swing off and come back to the board and fall over and be hanging by one arm, and people thought I was dying, you know. And so anyway, he did all these wonderful things for the circus. First when he was with the Tallahassee Circus, and then later with the Gamma Phi, he introduced the flying trapeze, and they used it for a couple of years, which I worked in it both years. Then they took it out after he left, because he kept getting bigger and bigger offers, and he just had this charisma about him. And he finally went to be the director of Kohn. Well, not the first director, but second director, which is still pretty good. And he's always done very, very well for himself.
Sounds like a great guy.
Well, he's my friend, and I'm proud of him.
Well, I'm happy to. Thank you for sharing, Tony.
My privilege.
Mine too. Well, thanks for tuning in with Trapeze Talks. Saying a goodbye with Tony Steele. We'll see you next week. Take care, guys.